So today, talking about the Noro Noro no Mi, otherwise known as the slow fruit. This is a paramecia, which allows the user to emit gamma photons that are microscopic particles not yet fully understood by science that significantly slows down any object they touch approximately 30 seconds, making the user a slowpoke man. This fruit was eaten by Foxy, silver fox. The Noro Noro no Mi, another devil fruit that we know the abilities of and what the fruit is called. Fortunately, we don't have a clue what the fruit's appearance looks like, but we will have to wait until Oda possibly adds this into the SBS at some point. She usually fleshes out devil fruits and characters that haven't been named in the series yet. But enough about that. The etymology of the word, which means the origin of the word, the Noro Noro in Japanese means slowly or sluggishly, which explains the fundamentals of what the fruit does. Noroma, possibly referring to the Noroma particles, means dunce, blockhead, or gullible in Japanese. And for a change, the Viz manga and the Funimation dub have for once agreed on what the fruit should be called. Both of them went with slow fruit. We will be talking about the strengths and weaknesses of this fruit. Firstly, talking about the strengths. The major strength of this fruit, as shown by Foxy, is that it gives the user the ability to generate and emit beams of Noroma photons, or the slowpoke photons, the English speakers, which they can use to slow down anything for 30 seconds. And whilst the beam is in use within the amount of time, the user can do anything to the slowed down object. Also, according to Foxy, this devil fruit's Noroma photons are not understood by science yet. When a person is hit by these beams and receives any number of strikes while in this slowed down state, the kinetic force of the strikes to them are released all at once as they return to their normal speed, making the attacks a little more devastating. And interesting use of the Noro Noro beams are that they can be reflected by mirrors due to the beams are made up of light. This can allow the user some very interesting or creative attacks that can catch the opponent off guard. So now we'll be talking about the weaknesses. The major weakness of this fruit's powers is that the user is not immune to the effects of their own photons, will be slowed down, exposed to them. In the anime, the beams also can only slow something roughly the size of the beams itself, such as it's slowing down only a small fraction of a tidal wave and leaving Foxy vulnerable to the remaining waves. Other than that, the user is also affected by the standard devil fruit weaknesses. Foxy managed to awaken this fruit, he could possibly do a Dio and use the ability the Wildo. The only downside, unless he figures out how to negate the effects of his own photon beams, this ability would just be pointless, and a possible workaround would be to create a reflective outer shell that wouldn't be affected. And an example of this outer shell could be to have mirrors reflecting the beam, or another workaround would be a fabric that can absorb a ton of light. And the closest thing we've got to almost pitch black is Vanta Black, which cuts out 99 point something or other percent of light particles towards it. So to go on to some of the usages, although not completely sure how the photons in the beams really work, Foxy uses the fruit's bestowed powers to aid himself in cheating in the Davey backfights. These range from him helping his pirate crew in winning matches by slowing down their opponents, and usually when slowing down his opponents, usually gives him an edge over them. And combined with his other tricks, Foxy's mastery over his devil fruit powers ensures that he will always have an advantage in any Davey back fight that he participates in. While the devil fruit power aids Foxy in many ways, they unfortunately can be used against him, if his opponent can make the beam be redirected at him. This can be done either by reflecting the beam or forcefully making Foxy fire the beam at himself. So here are a few named techniques. Noro Noro beam literally means slow beam. This is Foxy's main attack, where he shoots a beam of Noroma photons at his target, slowing anything down for 30 seconds. Depending on what was slowed down, Foxy can do all sorts of things while they are slowed down. These include using fired cannonballs as floating platforms to attack opponents viciously. The beam can be reflected by a mirror or possibly any reflected surface, and in the Viz manga and Funimation subs and dub, this attack is called the slow beam. It was first seen being used on Nami, Usopp, Robin, and Barrel the Tiger Donut Race. The mirror racket is another of Foxy's moves that he uses a pocket-sized mirror to reflect his Noro Noro beam towards his opponent. The name of this technique is derived from how Foxy uses the pocket-sized mirror as a tennis racket, which is pretty self-explanatory. You want to challenge me to a Davey back fight? I think I'll pass.
Wait, Foxy. Oh, come on. That's not funny.
And here's some trivia. The way Foxy holds his hand to emit the Noro Noro beam resembles the way Japanese would hold their hands up to represent fox. Plus, for an English person, would represent a dog to which is in the canine family. So this could just be a universal hand sign being used. Because of the way Boa Hancock's Mero Mellow technique resembles the Noro Noro beam of Foxy's, it was mistaken for this fruit's power by Luffy, making Foxy unfortunately canon to people in the community confused and accidentally believing that Foxy was a filler character, which he is unfortunately not. In the Funimation dub, Straw Hats called the slow beam doo-doo beam as an insult to Foxy. And if you've enjoyed this video and would like other people to see it, make sure to do this one small thing. Go into the comments below and write doo-doo beam just to spite Foxy and to give the YouTube algorithm a little boost. I'd really appreciate that.